Our guest today on CrossTalk, Usama Dakdok, born and raised in Egypt and certainly schooled in Islam. He studied Islamic law. He has came to know Christ as Savior as son of a Baptist pastor and founded the Straightway of Grace Ministry. You can check out their website, thestraightway.org, thestraightway.org. You'll find a number of resources there, videos and helps. Usama, by the way, is available and goes out speaking in churches across the country and in public forums, different groups that will have him in, and you can contact him through the website there as well, thestraightway.org, about coming and speaking in your area. He's got multiple presentations to reveal the truth about Islam. Let's go next to the state of Pennsylvania, Cranesville, Pennsylvania. David, thank you for calling. You're on the air with Usama Dakdok.
Hi, there seems to be another sect of Islam creeping up here in America. It's called Chrislam, and I wonder if you know anything about that.
Okay, what about Chrislam, Usama?
Well, that's a problem of the liberal churches all over this country. Those who will refuse to have somebody like me to teach the truth about Islam. And instead of accepting our invitation as we invite ourselves to welcome us to tell the truth about Islam to their people, they bring Muslims. And Muslim, as naturally in their existence, are deceiver. So they go to these churches and speak about their love for Jesus, their love for Virgin Mary, and their love for Christianity, and their love for gay and lesbian, and their love for the Jews, their love for those who worship cows in America. Literally, they love everybody. And
peaceful.
Very peaceful. And let's all get together and let's all hold hands. And they will go in these churches and they will marry the American ladies. But in the same time, you cannot marry their sisters if you are not a Muslim. And they're taking over our country with their, like you said, they're creeping in. They're slowly moving in inside the church. For Muslim agenda is not only to take this country politically, but even from the church. And I challenge these Muslims. Many times I go to these meetings, my dear brother, and I attend them because if I'm not speaking and I'm in town and they have one of these meetings, they will never allow you to record their teaching on video or even sound. They will not allow you to take notes like from what they're teaching. Why is he doing that? Because they know they're lying. And if I can get their material, I will expose it on our radio broadcast, and we'll expose it on our video as well on YouTube.
So there are churches that want to bring Muslims in to dialogue, to talk, to come together, and we see this formation of this Chrislam taking place. Let's all get together.
It's Christian and Muslim in specific. The other one is coexist, or the other one is interfaith. Interfaith, now you have all of them. But Chrislam is Christian, Muslim get together. And I'm sorry to say, the Christians in these groups are not Christian. Mm-hmm. So, brothers and sisters, they are not born-again Christians. They are what I call wolf in sheep skin. Yeah, they talk like a church. They have crosses in their building, but they know nothing about the cross or the Savior who died on the cross.
Thank you, David.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Appreciate your call.
Thank you, brother.
Let's go to Hurley, Mississippi. Mary, you're on the air.
Yes, I just wanted to thank CrossTalk for bringing on these gentlemen who are exposing Islam for what it is and what it's doing to America. I'm in the process now of reading one of Walter Shabbat's books, and I intend to get this gentleman's book, too, because if we don't become aware of what's going on, we're just going to throw up our arms and surrender to them. And I just thank you. I really appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Mary, for your call here today.
Appreciate you, sister. Keep us in your prayer, please. Thank you.
Yes, we will. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye now. He not only has he done the English translation of the Quran, but also the new 2-volume set, Exposing the Truth About the Quran, The Revelation of Error. Okay, let's see, our number 800-733-9829. Let's go to Elmhurst, Illinois, and John, you're on the air.
Hi, Usama, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Let me ask you, are you familiar with a statement by Ahmadinejad basically saying that they have no problem with homosexuality in their country? Because
yeah, Irani do not have any problem with homosexual because there is no homosexual there. If they find any, they kill them. Muhammad is very clear. Muhammad teaching about this topic is very clear. Kill the man who does it and kill the man who do it to the other person. Kill both parties. They have to be killed. That's very clear teaching. Yes, brother.
Right. So what I want to say is the biggest threat to, our society is the breakdown of Western civilization. Whereas, what's a bigger threat? It's the people running around professing to have a salvation in Jesus Christ that they don't actually possess? Or is it, the radical Islam? Because even looking at 9/11, okay, there's only 3 plausible theories for 9/11. Either it was a surprise attack, or the government let it happen, or the government made it happen. And that's what we need to get to. A lot of Christians are just going to have to review the evidence that the architects, engineers, firefighters, and pilots have put forth, saying the story is still in question.
John, let's get back to the topic of Islam here today, if you would.
Brother, let me explain something to you. 30 years ago, when I was in Egypt, what happened in September 11 had been taught to us, that the day is coming, we're going to destroy America from within. As a matter of fact, this is the written word of Allah in the Quran, when Allah said that He will cause this to happen, that the Muslim will take over the world by the edge of the sword, or by an airplane to a building, or by a bomb in a square. This technique has been known by Muslims for the last 1436 years. I don't believe in your theory, and I'm not going to get into it as well. Thank you so much.
Let's go next to the state of Minnesota. And Pete, you're on the air. Hello, Pete.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Usama, thank you for being there, and thank you for what you do.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
I have a copy of your Quran, and what a work you did there.
Thank you, brother.
I want to ask you a question. The Allah of the Quran seems to have the same description as Satan of the Bible. You expound on that.
Absolutely. Very simple. If you go to the Quran, chapter 1, verse 1, Muslim pray, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the world. As you read throughout the pages of the Quran, Allah is known to be the God of the world. Now, if you open the Bible, if you have just a little bit familiarity with the Bible, the God of this world, the Lord of this world, is Satan. If you go to the Quran and read as 385, for example, Allah said they deceive and Allah deceive. And Allah is the best deceiver. I'm sorry. The only deceiver I know of in the Bible is Satan. Allah in the Quran desire to fill hell with people. As a matter of fact, Muhammad told the Muslim that Christians and Jews are the fuel of hell. Allah in the Quran lead people astray. And I can go on and on with the half of the 99 names, attributes of Allah in the Quran. They do not fit anybody but the Satan of the Bible. Muslim worship Satan. For Allah in the Quran to deny the deity of Christ, for Allah in the Quran to deny the death and the resurrection of Christ, that is a great evidence that Allah is Satan, because Satan does not want not Muslims, not anyone to believe in the truth of the gospel. Thanks for your call, brother.
Thank you, Pete. To Dorothy in Illinois, you're on the air.
Yes, we're not supposed to establish a religion, and that's what they're doing. And also to stop them when anyone at all from any part of the world comes to America, you have to live under the American law. And they've brought their Sharia law in, and as someone, I guess the Muslims on all these boards and things that we don't realize have voted in to accept Sharia law in this country. But that gives them the right to use their law in this country, and that should not be. If you live in America, you adopt yourself to the American law. I came here from England, and when I was naturalized, you even had to speak English very fluently and know the government and everything more than the Americans did in order to become a citizen of this country.
Thank you, Dorothy. And yet, Usama, we are seeing the introduction of Sharia take place. Where
it's just last week, Brother Jim, in Florida, the Democrat gives the green light for the Muslim to go ahead with their Sharia in Florida, my home state. Ahmad Badir is the leader of the movement of Muslim taking over Florida. He's been doing this for 8-9 years. Who used to be the leader of CARE, who is actually now changing. He have a new organization like All America. This is just propaganda names he gave for himself. He was in Egypt. We have videos and picture of him in Egypt in the riots there, in the Arab movement, standing with the jihadists in Egypt, the Brotherhood of Egypt. He's a supporter of Hamas. And even though our FBI and CIA, our intelligence in Florida knows that, they still open the capital of Florida, Tallahassee, for him one day every year for a Muslim day in the capital. I'm getting sick and tired from our legislator in the state of Florida.
Thanks for raising that issue, Dorothy. To Fred in Wisconsin, you're on the air.
Yes, thank you. I'm wondering why they don't pick you up as a Muslim commentator on all the mainline TV and radio shows. And then when is the rally going to be on that was in Waukesha? Thank you.
That's on tonight, 9 p.m.
Okay.
Well, brother, they will not have somebody like me because I looked in my dictionary last time, was just like 5 minutes ago, and I did not see the word political correctness. So obviously I don't fit.
You're not invited.
No, I'm not invited. Yes, indeed.
To Brad in West Dallas, you're on the air.
Hi. When I was talking to a call screener. He indicated that one of those callers was talking about Satan and Allah being the same being, and I also believe that too, because the deceiver, the afflicter, the god of this age, that all goes hand in hand with what the Bible calls Satan, and the one who leads astray and all that. But I tell people this stuff, and they think I'm nuts, and they say, "Oh, where's your evidence?" So I tell them, I show them. They still don't believe it. They don't want to believe it, and I'm just wondering, is there something else in the Quran or the Hadith that particularly identifies Allah as a name that the Bible calls Satan, particularly? You know what I'm saying?
Brother, I think we covered some of them already, but the entire Quran teachings go against the teachings of the Bible. The 10 Commandments in the Bible is very simple. You love God. You don't have this in Islam. You not lie. You don't have this in Islam, but you must lie. When the Bible said, "Thou shalt not commit adultery," Jesus said you should not look at a woman and lust with your eyes. Muhammad commanding the Muslim to kill the Christian men so they can rape their wives and their daughter. When the Bible said, "Thou shalt not steal," Muhammad said it's lawful and good as long as you give 20% to Muhammad, which is the zakat in Muhammad days, 20% of the spoil, as written in the Quran. So everything about the truth about God in the Bible is taught, the commandment in the Quran, to be the opposite. So it's a logic thing that Islam is the work of Satan, is the work of the devil. That's the end of it. And if American people will not read the Quran, they will not get it. And I'm sorry to tell you that many Americans have eyes, they can't see. They have ears, they cannot hear, and they have a heart, and they don't understand. I think God, the God of this world, the small g, Satan, has blinded them, that they cannot see, hear, or understand. And I don't know what to tell you. How can we help the American people to realize the truth about Islam, but to expose Islam for all the lies which Muslims teach in the West?
So it's mostly just a matter of the continuum of what the Quran and the Hadith teach, which is opposite of what the Bible says.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you, brother.
Let's go to Boise, Idaho. And Janie, you're on the air.
Oh, hello. I'm sorry, I was carrying on the conversation. It's about the Magdri Cristiano Alum, who was baptized by Pope Benedict in 2008. Mm-hmm. And he has come out leaving the church because Francis, the new Pope, wants to, what he considers have more open dialogue with Islam. And I was wondering if you could give any insight into that.
Thanks for the call here, Jeannie.
The problem, my dear sister, with the open dialogue or bridges between Muslim and Christian, it only go one way. You see, these meetings, if you go attend this dialogue, there is no such a thing as dialogue between darkness and light. If you go to your house right now, go to inside room and turn the light on, it will not be dark. Turn the light off, it will be dark. You cannot mix light and darkness in one room. So I don't believe in a Christian-Muslim dialogue. I believe in a Christian-Muslim debate. Because if Christianity is true, Islam is 100% false. And if Islam is true, Christianity is 100% false. They can be both false. But there is no way you can have them both right. And in this dialogue, what Muslims are doing is, they're trying to emphasize to the Americans that Islam is okay, Christianity is okay, and that's not going to work. That's going to end for the good of the Muslim, not for Christ.
Thanks for your call. We're going to take a quick break and come back to more of your questions and open forum on Islam today on CrossTalk. Our guest, Usama Dakdok. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
For the Worldview Weekend Minute, I'm Brandon House. Our website's worldviewweekend.com. We're continuing our series on a biblical worldview and money, 20 points, and we're on point number 10 today, which is, it is God's grace that allows us to obtain wealth. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 17 and verse 28 speaks to this. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7 speaks to this. It is by God's grace that we even have the ability to earn a living. Whatever skills you have, it's by God's grace that you have them. Every good and perfect gift comes from the Father above. If you have the ability to work with numbers as an accountant, that's by God's grace. If you have the ability to get up every day and physically go do a job, that's by God's grace. The ability to even take another breath is by God's grace. So we need to understand that it's by God's grace that we're even allowed to obtain wealth. For more information on having a biblical worldview when it comes to money, you'll find some great articles on our website at worldviewweekend.com, worldviewweekend.com.
You're listening to CrossTalk here on the VCY American Network. Usama Dakdok is with us from the Straight Way of Grace Ministry. Their website is thestraightway.org, and those without internet access, you can also contact their ministry for materials at area code 941-223-1703. And request materials and information about their ministry, or if you'd like to have Usama come and speak to your church, a series of meetings to really help enlighten people as to the truth about Islam. Going back to the phone lines, we have Jason calling in from Holman, Wisconsin. Hi, Jason, you're on the air.
Hello. Good talking to both of you. I got a couple quick questions. Why do the Shias and the Sunnis battle each other so much, and what do the Middle Eastern Muslims think of the Nation of Islam here in America?
Okay, thank you.
First of all, Muhammad told the Muslims there will be 71 denominations among them. One will make it to paradise, and the 70 will go to hell forever. So Shia consider Sunni infidels, and Sunni consider Shia infidels. As for Nation of Islam, for sure they are infidels, for they believe in Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, Elisha Muhammad, this American black gentleman. And no Muslim in the world with common sense would accept any other prophet but Muhammad, the prophet of Islam.
Thank you for the call here to Winona, Minnesota. And Maria, you're on the air.
I want to thank you so much for having Usama on to expose the Islamic belief. And don't ever buckle down. I really appreciate the teachings.
Thank you, sister.
My question, just had a knee replacement done, and I was laying in the hospital, and the nurses were very concerned, would say, are you suicidal? Are you depressed? And I said, no, I feel like I have a vacation here. Even though the pain, I give thanks and everything, And I was thinking, and I asked them, how do the Arab women, if they even get treated for something like that? I'm 75 years old, and I have the privilege of getting a knee replaced and therapy afterwards. Can you tell me if they even get the medical treatment?
My dear sister, I have my dog, 8 years old, toy fox terrier. My wife takes him to the dentist twice every year. Every time costs $135 just to clean her teeth. A dog. Sadly, I tell you that Muslims in the world do not have the normal rights for life. You'll be happy if your husband beat you lightly. That is not to break your bones, as stated in the teaching of Allah in the Quran, chapter 4, verse 34, I believe. So, there is no really, but there are some wonderful Muslim people in the world, and they are Muslim, they are wonderful, not because they're Muslim. They're wonderful because they have not yet learned the truth about Islam. For the more you know about Islam, the more you'll be broke, crying blood, not tears, for every Muslim females.
So that Muslim females do not have access to medical treatment?
No, not any. I mean, literally, poor people in Egypt, those who go to the hospital, they go with a simple sickness, they leave with a bigger one. So I don't know. Knee replacement is not something we heard of in Egypt. It's too expensive to do anyway.
Thanks for the call to Duluth, Minnesota. And Tim, you're on the air.
Good afternoon. I enjoy the program on VCY quite a bit, Osama.
Thank you.
And I do definitely believe you with the teaching of the Quran, but my question is, there's over 1 billion Muslims in the world, many of which, of course, are in the United States. Now, I never hear about the honor killings, on my news at night or the national news or anything, so it makes me question, one, does it happen as frequently as thought? Or two, are there so many Muslims that really are very moderate and do not practice some teachings in the Quran?
First of all, thanks for your call. There is no such a thing as moderate Muslim because there is no moderate Islam. We have hundreds of cases in America, but our FBI choose to hide it, put it under the rug. It is the teaching of Allah, the Quran, 6:151, and it's repeated many times throughout the pages of the Quran. And we have cases, very vicious cases, like this Muslim TV station in New Jersey, where a man beheaded his wife because she filed for divorce paper. And sadly, the media choose not to talk about it. And that was 3 years ago. Can you imagine with me if this Muslim man was a Baptist preacher who beheaded his wife in some TV ministry? It will be on the news 24/7 for years. But we hiding everything bad about Islam because of political correctness. We don't want to hurt their feeling. We don't want to hurt their emotion. And that is the destruction of our country.
Well, thank you for the call. We're going to squeeze one last call in. This is from Delavan. And Russell, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi. I I want to thank you for having Usama on. I think he's fantastic. I have a question, and that is, we have a family member who is marrying a Muslim and clearly states that he will not switch religion. And I am going against the rest of the family because I refuse to attend the wedding and to have anything to do with them. Do you think that's the wise thing to do, the smart thing to do? I think they're also intimidated by his money. And my second question is, Usama, I'd like to have you come speak at our church. I'm going to look on your website. But I wondered, would you ever speak at a mosque? I'm not in support of them, obviously, but to...
No, brother, very simple. Muslim will never have me in a mosque, as I will not, to go to the mosque, you have to be so liberal, far away from the truth that you cannot tell the Muslim you are following a child molester. And I do not go anywhere with political correctness. Number two, for the wedding, I will not attend the wedding myself, and I will speak very loud to her before the wedding will happen that she's making a big mistake. I beg you, contact us, get a DVD, Women in Islam. She need to watch this video before she marries this Muslim man, because she's going to be sorry for the rest of her life, especially when she marry a rich man.
Thank you for the call here, and we'll give that contact information here again. Usama, you've got a number of resources on your website, many, many different DVDs. You've got these books. You have the English translation of the Quran that includes the contradictions and the biblical teaching. Tell us more about your website.
TheStraightWay.org. By the way, we have a new site, web page inside the website, which in it you can watch lots of videos, what's happening recently in America. It's just something we put together the last couple of weeks, and you can get to it. Just write to us, we'll send it to you. We're going to have a small session in our real website to lead you to it, which you will see what is happening in the White House, what's happening in our Pentagon, what's happening in our FBI. Ridiculous. We're destroying our country with the political correctness. So, but thestraightway.org, we have all this material available, DVDs, books, as you said, Brother Jim. Would love to have the opportunity to go speak in churches. So if you call us later on the phone, we'll set this up to come to speak in your church. And we speak in small churches as big churches. It doesn't matter any size of the churches, and our ministry is free of charge. So we'd love to go travel all over the country to speak in different places.
Usama, thank you so much for being with us
Thanks,
today.
Brother Jim. It's my joy to be here with you.
Usama Dakdok, our guest here today on CrossTalk. And again, folks, the website is thestraightway.org, thestraightway.org. You may also follow up with a phone call to them at 941-223-1703. Resources, materials are there. If you'd like to have them come speak in your church for a series of meetings, contact them for that information as well. Our time is gone. Thanks for joining us today on this open forum on Islam presented on CrossTalk.
You've been listening to CrossTalk via satellite and the internet from VCY America. Views expressed may or may not be those of this station. For a CD of today's program, send a donation of $6 or more to VCY Tape Ministry, 3434 West Kilbourne Avenue, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53208, or download by RSS or podcast from crosstalkamerica.com. And join us again for CrossTalk.